Hello guys, welcome to the lecture 12 of machine learning series. From our past two videos, we have been discussing how to read a CSV file and how to read JSON or SQL files. Okay, now in this video, we'll be seeing the entire procedure on how to fetch the data using APIs. Okay, now before understanding this entire procedure, first we need to understand what actually these APIs mean and how do they work. First, these APIs are nothing but application programming interface. Okay, application programming interface. Now let us try to define this API. API is a protocol or set of rules that allows applications to communicate, share data or use each other's features without knowing their internal code. Now to understand this definition, first we need to understand the example. Okay, we'll be understanding this entire definition through an example. Now let's say we have a customer. Okay, we have a customer and this is the Paytm application. Okay, this is the Paytm mobile application. Okay, now this customer has this Paytm mobile application. Okay, and he's new user to Paytm. Now first time when he opens the Paytm app, he need to sign up, right? Okay, for that he enters his mobile number and then enters the OTP. Now Paytm asks for bank details. Okay, it asks for bank details. Now to enter the bank details, first he need to the most important in this bank details is account number. Okay, account number. Okay, now when he enters the account number, how Paytm understands, is this a valid account number or not? Okay, how Paytm understands, is this a valid account number or not? Okay, does Paytm have the entire SBI or any bank users data? No, right? Now this Paytm uses bank API. Okay, instead of using their entire data, okay, instead of having their entire users data, it has bank API. Okay, corresponding banks API, let's say SBI bank API or Canara bank API. In this way it has bank APIs. Okay, it has bank APIs of different bank. Now what happens is this account number, okay, this account number goes as an input to this bank API. Okay, now bank API goes to the bank's database. Okay, let's say it is an SBI bank. Now through this bank API, the data goes through the SBI bank database. Okay, now what this database does, it checks whether the account number is valid or not, means whether the account number is present in the bank's database or not. Okay, once it verifies that it is present, then it returns and response. Okay, it returns and response that it is valid. Okay, it is valid. Now Paytm understands that this account number is a valid account number and helps you create an account in the Paytm application. Okay, now here the Paytm is not having the entire users data, but it is just having the bank API. Okay, it's just having the bank API. Now let us try to decode the definition. API is a protocol or set of rules that allows applications to communicate. Okay, now here Paytm application and bank database. Okay, Paytm application and SBI bank database are communicating with each other. Okay, are communicating with each other with an intermediate, that is API. Okay, with an intermediate, that is API. Okay, now is the Paytm application having the entire control over SBI bank database? No, it is only having the control of just checking whether the user is valid or not. Okay, it's just having the control of checking whether the user is valid or not, that is account number is valid or not, but it doesn't have an access to the entire users data. Okay, it doesn't access the entire users data. So here the communication is taking place, but with the help of set of rules. Okay, with the help of set of rules. Okay, here Paytm can't retrieve the entire users information. Okay, it can only check. Okay, it can only check whether the user is valid or not through API. Okay, now this set of rules are also established using API. Okay, using API. Share data. Okay, here the data is being shared. Okay, data is being shared. Now the account number is shared between Paytm as well as bank. Okay, bank database, and also the response of valid or not is also shared between Paytm and bank. Okay, bank database, or use each other's features without knowing their internal code. Okay, here Paytm is not seeing the entire users data. Okay, here Paytm is not searching the entire users data, but how it is able to know whether it's valid or not? Through the help of bank API. Okay, this is the significance of an API. Okay, API helps in communication between the client and server. Okay, here Paytm is nothing but client, and here bank database is nothing but server. Okay, how the communication between client and server is taking place? Through APIs. First, client sends a request to the server and server responds to the client. Okay, this is how communication takes place between client and server. Okay, through APIs you can also add protection. Okay, you can also add protection to the bank, okay, bank database, okay, or any database. Okay, so this is how an API works. Okay, an API is nothing but a shield. Okay, a shield around the database. Okay, a shield around the database which protects the database and also provides you the limited access to this database. Okay, and provides you the limited access to this database. Okay, this is the entire internals of an API. Okay, an API is nothing but an data, okay, nothing but an data pipeline. Okay, it's nothing but an data pipeline between client and server. Okay, now let us see how to fetch the data using APIs. See, how do we fetch data using an API? Okay, first let us take our first example, that is Kaggle. Okay, from Kaggle website, how can we fetch the data using API? Generally, the Kaggle provides you two basic procedures to get your data. Okay, first is you can directly download the zip file, and the second technique, okay, the second technique is using this APIs. Okay, now in case your system is lack of storage, you can't just download the zip file. So what you can do now, okay, what you can do now is you just go to your Kaggle profile. Okay, just click on this profile and you will be seeing your username. Okay, just copy this username. Okay, what I have highlighted in the blue color, you just copy that path. Okay, just copy it and then go to your settings. Okay, just go to your settings and click on generate new token. Okay, under API token section, generate new token, use some random name, I am giving it as demo, and click on generate. Okay, now here you can see that this is your API token. Okay, also copy this API token, and where you need to paste is first install Kaggle, and then in this portion of code you need to paste your username as well as API key. Okay, now in place of username, okay, you can see that in place of username, just give your username and just give your API token and then click on run. What this does is this establishes a connection between your Google Colab notebook as well as the Kaggle website. Okay, Kaggle website. Now you can easily download the datasets. Okay, now after clicking on run, then you need to download your dataset. Now click on datasets and select some random dataset. Okay, I'm selecting this dataset and then click on run and copy this part of the code which is highlighted in that double quotes. Okay, copy this part of the code, and after copying this link, okay, after copying this URL or link, just paste it over here. Okay, where I highlighted in the blue color region, just paste it over there. Okay, after -d space and just paste your URL over there and then click on run. After clicking on run, you will be seeing that and zip file is being downloaded in the download section. Okay, now what you need to do with that zip file, you need to unzip that zip file so that you will be getting your CSV file. For unzipping, what you can do is you just copy the path of the zip file and just paste it over here. Okay, just paste it over here. Now by running this code, you will be seeing that and CSV file is being created. Okay, you will be seeing that and CSV file will be created. Now you need to read this CSV file. Okay, I have already set the entire procedure to read the CSV file. Now just copy path and just paste in pd.read_csv. okay, import pandas and pd.read_csv, and you will be seeing that your dataset, okay, your data frame will be obtained. Okay, your data frame will be obtained. Now the CSV file is converted to an data frame, and pandas data frame. Okay, this is the entire data frame. Now we have seen our first procedure. Now in our second procedure, we'll be using an news API. Okay, news API. Now I'll be showing you how to fetch using this news API. Now this news API provides you the latest updates of the news. Okay, latest updates of the news. Now let us see how to read them. First, you need to go to this website. I'll be providing the links in the description. Okay, don't worry, just go to this website. Now after going to this website, you need to first create your account and verify your mail. After verifying your mail, just click on get API token. Okay, get API token. After clicking on get API token, you'll be seeing that your API key will be generated. Okay, after obtaining your API key, just click import the request library. This request library helps in fetching the data from an external website. Okay, and it sends and basically request. Okay, it's basically sends and request to an external website to retrieve the data. Okay, now API key is equal to your API key. Okay, then URL is equal to this particular URL. Okay, just this particular URL where the entire news is present. Okay, in this URL the entire news is present. Now in this I'll be providing my API key under an f string. Okay, using an f string I'll be providing my API key. I have described my entire API key over here. Okay, now data is equal to request. Okay, I'm just requesting that particular URL. Okay, I'm just requesting that particular URL. From that I'm getting the information. Okay, from that URL I'm getting the information. Once that news API checks, okay, once this entire website checks whether the API key is valid or not, then it provides you the entire information. Okay, it provides you the entire information, and I am converting that information into an JSON format. Okay, and JSON format, because it is easily readable. After that I am printing the entire data and I am converting it to an pandas data frame for easy readability. Okay, you can see that I have achieved 29,972 results, and this is the JSON format. Okay, this is just the JSON format. I'm just printing the top 2 results, and you can see that this is the entire data frame. Okay, this is the entire data frame. Okay, in this way, you can access any website data using the APIs. Okay, using the API keys. Okay, now some websites provide you free APIs and some provide you some paid APIs. Okay, now in case you are working on any bigger project, you can then use the paid version of the APIs, or else the free APIs will be sufficient. Okay, hope you guys like this video. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.